What are you voting for this year? And no, I am not talking about who you're voting for in the election. I stay as far away from politics as you can imagine. But in this video, I'm actually gonna go in and talk about how do we think the election itself is gonna affect the housing market. So when I ask who are you voting for, or more likely, what are you voting for? So that's my question, is who do you think is gonna win? Is it gonna be buyers, sellers, both, or neither? If you're watching this on YouTube, put a comment down below. If you're watching this kind of live and you got this in your email on the weekly newsletter, which if you're not on, go to ocmarketupdates.com and register. But shoot me a reply. I'm really curious as to who do you think is gonna win in this environment? So let me break down a couple of different things in this video. But first, let me make sure I introduce myself. If you don't know who I am, my name is Christian Stubbs. I'm an owner and team leader here of Onyx Homes. And this is our weekly newsletter where we talk about what we feel like is the most important thing going on right now. Now, this is an interesting topic to bring up because quite frankly, 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, and I'm filming this here in the middle of March, we have not heard any of our consumers talk about, I'm really worried about the election, or I'm gonna wait and see what happens because of the election. This is a new objection, if you will, for people who are thinking about making a move that have all of a sudden hit the brakes and said, hold on, I'm not doing anything until the election's over, until this happens or that happens or whatever. And it's interesting that this is such a big thing that happens every 4 years, but at the same point, moving is such a big decision that can happen whenever. And for this to just come out of nowhere is really interesting, but not really that surprising because frankly, all of the advertising started about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and we start seeing signs all over the place. I know in my city, there's signs everywhere already that'll be here for the rest of the year, or at least till November. So anyway, let's dive into how we think the election is really going to play out and affect the housing market this year. I'll start with my personal opinion, which I try not to give my personal opinion too much in these videos, but I think this one's important. So my personal opinion, I think this is gonna be a distraction for the people who have been sitting on the fence, not quite sure if this is the right time to make a move or not. It's just one additional thing to be like, oh man, something might happen. I might not like if it goes this way or that way. I'm just gonna sit back and wait. And it is something we see all the time in this business and anytime you're in sales, but especially with real estate, it's something where in the summer you're waiting for the winter market so that it cools down. In the winter market, we're waiting for the holidays to pass because nobody wants to move during the holidays. Everybody wants to start looking at the beginning of the year, and then it gets really competitive. So we're gonna wait till the summer when there's more inventory. And it's really just this cycle that continues and continues. Adding on there, I'm waiting for rates to come down. I'm waiting for prices to come down. I'm waiting for things to become more affordable. And now I'm waiting for the election. So I think this is gonna be a distraction more than anything. I don't think there's gonna be one way or the other. I don't think there's gonna be any major impact whatsoever on the housing market. It's my personal opinion. Now, alongside with that, the impact is, if my personal opinion comes true, is that more people sit on the sideline because they're waiting for something to happen, is gonna sideline, it's gonna keep inventory on the sidelines. And that is something that is likely going to continue to drive this market that we've been seeing. If you've been paying attention to the last few housing market updates, and again, if you're not on them, make sure you go to ocmarketupdates.com and register for this newsletter. We send a market update every single month. You know that last month we saw more inventory, but not nearly as much as we would normally see this time of year. So I think this is going to compound that problem. Not a lot, but enough to make a difference. Now, yes, that is my personal opinion, but what is not my personal opinion is a simple math equation. Is that low inventory plus dropping rates equals price increases? Now, here's where we're at right now. We have low inventory and we have rates about the same. So we have a neutral interest rate, if you will, because it's not really going up or down right now. Inventory is actually going up, and so are prices. Now, I think what a lot of people are all agreeing with is that interest rates are going to come down. The question is how much and when. But there are a lot of people out there that are saying the second half of this year, maybe right before elections or early next year, we are going to see rates come down. Now, if we have low inventory and if it is increased, or if inventory is still low in some part, at least because of the election, and we see interest rates drop, there is a big case to be made that prices are going to pretty dramatically increase again. If you didn't see the last housing market update, I definitely recommend going and watching it. But one of the things that would be my biggest piece of advice is really just understand understanding that here we are in the middle of March when I'm filming this, and we are in multiple offer situations. Prices are going up again. We've seen price increases last month, and we're at a peak for pricing. And I think even a lot of the economists are projecting 3-5% price increases. Remember, these are nationwide numbers. What we're seeing here in Orange County, California is wildly different than what we're seeing in Texas and Virginia and Idaho and anywhere else. I got friends all over the country, and they are not really seeing what we're seeing here in Southern California, specifically in Orange County. Now, with that said, there's a big case to be made also for the people who have had their golden handcuffs on. And if you don't know what I'm talking about here, I made a video a little while back and I wrote an article about the golden handcuffs for homeowners. Is the homeowners that are locked into a 2.5% to a 4% interest rate, they feel like, why in the world would I move? Because they're probably never gonna see that mortgage again. And I certainly don't think anybody's gonna see a 2.5% interest rate ever again, at least not anytime soon. So their feeling of golden handcuffs to go from a 2.5% rate to a 7 or 8% rate is very unlikely unless they're in a lot of pain and need to move. Now, if that interest rate comes down to 5, maybe even 4%, there might be a lot more inventory coming to the market when those golden handcuffs aren't quite as painful to remove. So all those people that are sitting on really, really low interest rates, when rates come down, again, we don't know how far they're gonna come down, but if we get into the 5-4 range, we're likely to see a lot of those people choose to take the 2.5% rate, trade it into the house they really want at a higher rate. So that will definitely bring more inventory to the market, and hopefully that settles this market down a little bit to where we don't go into a craze that we saw in 2021 where everything was multiple offers, everything was getting bid up. So that is not the environment that we really want to see. So I'm curious, in the comments down below, or if you're reading this from your email, go ahead and reply or put in the comments down below what you think the election's gonna have as far as an impact on the housing market. I don't wanna get into politics, but in the housing market, what do you think just the election going on is gonna have as an impact in the housing market? Up or down? Who's gonna be the winner? Home buyers, home sellers, both, or neither? I'm curious. Now, before we go, I have 2 different resources that I really would like to share with you. Now, the first one is for home buyers, which is also the same resource for somebody that is also looking to sell. So if you're buying and or selling, if you're gonna buy a house in the next year or 2 years, here would be my biggest piece of advice is I would go to a recording that I did on a strategy session for buyers. This is kind of the preface to what we would do on a one-to-one strategy session for anybody that's really looking to make a move. This is a little bit higher level. This was a live recording that I did last month, and I think it was incredibly valuable for the people that were there live. And there's a ton of information on there, a lot of bigger picture things. If you're trying to figure out, is it a good time to buy or not, that's a really good recording to watch. It's about 45 minutes. You can fast forward through different parts if you'd like. There's a ton of information in there, so definitely go watch that. And the link is gonna be down below. 3 major things we talk about in that is we really share what our clients are doing to be successful in the market. We talk about how we keep our buyers or you protected through the entire process. And we talk about how we get the best deals possible, even in an environment where there's multiple offers. So that's number 1. It is the kind of preface or the part 1 to our home buyer strategy session we do for our clients. So this is something you can just go watch. There's no obligation there whatsoever. Now, number 2 is for homeowners. This is for anybody that owns a property that, frankly, even if you're not thinking about selling, I would highly recommend doing this just so you're more educated on what's actually happening in the market. So you can go to trackyourvalue.com. This is gonna pull up a really simple page that is gonna give you the opportunity to watch a video on explaining exactly what I'm about to explain, and a link to put in your address or a box to type in your address. And what we're gonna do here is we are going to do 2 things. First, you're gonna fill out the form, which will give you an estimated range of your home's value. Now, there's a lot of different information that we'll give you along with that, but that is the basics of it, is you're gonna get a value range on your property. Now, next, we will reach out to you and we'll ask, hey, when was the last time you did upgrades? What does the kitchen look like? What does the master bathroom or primary bathroom look like? Just giving us some more context about the property so that we can provide you with a free appraisal or a free complete market analysis on your property's value. So that'll give you a much better idea of what your home is really worth right now. Because number 1, I can promise Zillow has no idea. Redfin estimates or whatever website estimates you're looking at, they have no idea what your home is worth, especially right now. So we'll give you a really good idea if you were to put it on the market, what you would be able to get it for. So that's the second thing, is for homeowners, is to really figure out what is that home's value. And if you want to talk about the next steps of not selling it, where would you go if you did? We are open to that conversation. We're happy to help. We do that all the time. So anyway, I'm curious, what did you guys think about how the election is going to have an impact on the housing market. Put that in the comments, shoot me a reply. And then number two, if you want to take advantage of either of those resources, again, we try to give you as much information as possible so that you can make the best decision for your own unique situation. And again, my name is Christian Stubbs. I hope you found this valuable. Share it with a friend if you'd like. Subscribe to the channel if you like this type of stuff. And I will see you in the next video.